So, Hare Krishna Kushpreet, welcome to our channel.
Thanks.
So,
Thanks, Moinak, for inviting me.
thank you. So, our team is really grateful because you have joined for this podcast series. Thank you. Okay, so let us first define why we are here. So, the purpose of this podcast is basically to guide our juniors. So, how to take the job interview preparation in their campuses, and also if someone has done a 1 year job already and one wishes to switch, so how like they can switch. So the main theme of this podcast is this. So Kushpreet, so already I know your name, so please introduce yourself.
Yeah. So again, thanks, Moinak, for inviting me. And I was your batchmate, and we also got to know each other when we were doing our MStat in ISI. And before that, I have a bachelor's degree in math. So that is a bit different from most people who join ISI MStat, but still we all like statistics, and we all wanted to join ISI because like how great the program is, how great the teachers are, and how great the students are who join the program. So I did my master's from ISI. I opted for probability specialization in my second year, and but I most people who take probability usually go for research, but I wanted to go for a job. So luckily I got a job. I got a good job through the campus placements at ISI. And after working there for around 1.2 years, I switched to a different job in a different role. And hopefully, in our podcast today, we'll cover all that.
Yeah, so those 2 years were really good actually at ISI.
Yeah, yeah,
So Kushpreet, as you mentioned, you have opted for the probability specialization. So we
yeah,
all know that was the toughest, actually,
yeah,
rigorous. It was very rigorous. So how did you actually balance the academics and this interview preparation?
yeah. So I think when I joined ISI, we have to, as you, everybody who is enrolled in the MStat program, especially NB stream people. So this applies to everyone, but still I was in NB stream, so I will give my perspective. So at the end of your first semester, you have to kind of like decide what courses you want to take in your second semester. And on the basis of those courses, you actually select your specialization. And I think it's very common for people to go for applied because I think it gives you a bit more flexibility. Uh, and also, it's more like focused on applications in biostatistics and machine learning and some other like applications. But there are also two other specializations which are more theoretical, like theoretical statistics and the probability specialization, which I took. So my thinking was, because I am from a math background, and that faculty in ISI Kolkata is really amazing, who actually take the courses for probability specialization. And I actually don't recommend it for everyone, but if you feel you have very strong math background, real analysis especially, and real analysis and linear algebra, and maybe some advanced real analysis, then I think it's not that difficult. I would say the difficulty was a bit overhyped because I had like a good time. Some courses were difficult, like Brownian motion, but it was like they were difficult for everyone. And the teachers were really kind and gracious in my year, like my particular year. And coming to jobs, I was almost sure that I am going to do like some corporate job, even in my first year. So that was not I was not confused or anything. So actually, I would say probability specialization helps you in the sense that the exams are a bit difficult because you have to be good at problem solving. And
Right.
yeah, there are the concepts, there are a lot of concepts, but the main part is the application of the concepts, like in solving the problems. And that actually can help you in the interview because there also they are going to ask you questions, brain teasers, and there are many resources for that. But it's good that you kind of if you always practice and you are not out of touch with the problem solving, because in some companies they will mostly just ask you probability brain teasers and probability puzzles. But yeah, it actually differs from company to company, so the preparation should be company specific.
Okay. Okay. So actually, probability specialization actually helped you also for the interview
Yeah,
in many
that
ways.
was yeah, I did not really plan, that was not planned, but I would say and another interesting point I would like to make is whatever choice you make, whatever specialization you take, when you go into the interviews, be confident because actually some companies they asked me, why did you take probability and why do you want to do a job after that, because it is so theoretical. So I actually I was just very honest with them that I like math, I wanted to study math, but I also want to do a job. So I don't think that is like a negative in any sense. I did not feel that.
Yeah. So Kushpreet, so next, can you please tell me what are the courses or books you have taken that you think you have got the best return
In terms of like job
getting
preparation.
jobs? Yeah.
Okay. So I would like divide that in two parts when you are trying to get a job through campus placements. So when you're trying to get a job through campus placements, our seniors have already compiled a lot of resources and even company specific list of questions. So companies have a pattern, like they have like a pattern which they follow. Some companies focus on problem solving a lot, like Goldman Sachs and even some other companies like Morgan Stanley. And some companies focus on your grades and other stuff like communication more maybe. So I think you should always prepare for specific companies. And some books which can help you in general are, I would say, ISLR is one book that everybody should do
Yeah.
because it has both like theory and applications. And there are many books on like probability puzzles, like 50 challenging problems. And there are some other books which you can consult, but always look for the previous year questions, which company asked like what type of questions, and also uh, like have like a intuitive understanding of the concepts and not just formulas.
Okay. So
And yeah,
Kushpreet.
the second part, yeah,
Mhm.
the second part, maybe I can expand on later when we talk about the like job switching and all that.
Okay, sure. So Kushpreet, so as we all both of us know, ki every interview is different actually. Every
Yeah.
interview is different. So can you recall some questions that you are
Yeah.
very you feel good?
Okay. So I don't want to exactly like name the companies, but let's say there are some companies which are like very good and they offer very good salaries to ISI people, and they focus on like probability puzzles which are not easy. So they are kind of like Olympiad level in some sense. So you have to prepare because it is difficult to just come up with the answer on spot if you have not seen such problems. So that is one category of problem, and in that you can have problems related to random walks, coin toss, and expected value of like some bets on dice and stuff like that. So there are like many resources available. I already mentioned 50 challenges problems, but I am sure you can find. But I think you should focus on the theme more, because they might not repeat the same question. And some companies ask like very easy questions. You might even feel a bit confused, but like actually they ask easy questions. They just want to see if you remember the basics or not. So just answer them simply. If it is a simple question, just be as simple as possible. And these days, I also saw some companies are asking questions related to some kind of like a game situation where, two people are playing a game, which player will win. These kind of
Mm-hmm.
questions are also becoming popular, especially for quant roles.
So, okay. So, as we are talking, so you have already mentioned that being confident is very important in an interview.
Yeah.
So, apart from that, what other soft skills you think are important for interviews?
Yeah, so first of all, I think have like good communication. I think try to engage the interviewer, because like it's not like it's like a professional environment, and I think you should not think about like that person as someone who's there to like judge you, because like don't get scared of the person. I think most of my interviews were quite friendly, and they just want to see, that they already know you have like a good background in all the subjects, but they just want to see whether you can communicate and actually try to understand the perspective of like the companies, like higher management and their requirements. Because once you go into industry, I think you'll have to learn a lot more uh, in terms of what actually works, instead of the stuff that we did in our like academic life. Industry life is, I would say, like really different, and that transition is also very important. And they just want to see whether like you are open-minded enough and uh, adaptable enough to make that transition. You cannot just say, oh, I already know everything, so I don't want to learn. So that's not a good attitude.
Okay. So, also, I want to add one thing. Also, I think is being honest in an interview is very important. Like,
Yeah,
if you don't know an answer, you shouldn't just make
yeah,
it up on the spot and just
yeah,
you should just directly tell you don't know, and that will not
exactly.
create a bad impact. Actually, it will not create a bad impact.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's what, be honest, don't be rude. Even if the interviewer makes some mistake, like don't be rude at all, or you think that they are trying to like trick you or something. That's not the case. Like that's never the case. Those people are professional and they know how to do their jobs.
Correct, correct. Okay, so now let's come to your second part of your career. So basically, the job switch.
Yeah,
So as far as I heard, actually, you have got into a remote US startup, right?
yeah.
Okay, so first of all, what are the advantages and disadvantages of being a remote job?
Yeah. So I think that's like an interesting question, and many people probably want to know the answer, because like first of all, it's a remote job, and also I switched within 2 years, which is a bit like early. People don't really switch. They usually like get a promotion and then they switch to other jobs. So ISI has like a very good placement record, as everybody knows. And I was
Yeah.
lucky enough to get placed in one of the companies like that came in, I think, the top bracket. I was like, I think a lot of it is it luck actually. Yeah. So anybody preparing for the job interviews, please don't take it personally. It's not a reflection of how good you are at anything. Most of the time, it is, I would say, 60% luck, at least 60%, because it's your first job. So the people don't really have any good criteria to evaluate you on. So, they try their best, but still, it's luck. So I got lucky and got placed into like one of the top companies which came that year. And when I joined, uh, there was a lot to learn. There was a lot to learn in the beginning. In the beginning, basically, the good thing about my company, if someone wants to look it up, is that they gave us like a lot of responsibility, and they gave us like real data, and from like day one, and they told us to just work on the data, and like what insights can you generate out of this data. And so first you go and you just learn how to like get the data from the company servers and all, because you don't really learn that in college. That is also like a big part.
Right.
And once you understand how to get the data, then you start working on the data, and slowly you realize that none of your assumptions that you like whatever assumptions you think like should hold on some data, some distribution, they don't hold on the data. And there are also like a lot of other issues, like practical issues, like bad data quality, missing values, and stuff like that. So I think it's important to learn that like very quickly in your career if you want to go into anything which deals where you deal with data, especially real world data. So that was like a big learning experience for me. And my reason to switch, so I think there are like professional reason and also like personal reason. So I already knew like some people who were doing remote jobs for like US startups and like stuff like that. So I already had an idea about, that this thing is possible actually. It's not that difficult. Like if you prepare and like start looking for startups, there are ways to get a job like this. So the personal reason was I wanted to come to my hometown because of some like some things I had to do, like some family things, that I had to deal with. So it was important for me to stay in my hometown for some time. And the professional reason was I was in the credit industry, the fintech industry, and these days in that industry you deal with a lot of data and models. But I just realized that there are also other aspects which are more important maybe than just like fitting a model and then you know optimizing the model. So there are like other aspects which are also very important, and I did not really find those aspects like very interesting. So I basically started working on some like independent projects related to time series, like, but not the stuff that you do in like college, especially ISI curriculum. And another project was related to AI models, like image generation and AI models. So it was just like a project that I did just to like learn. It was fun. It was I did the project with a friend, and we just got to learn a lot in like 2 3 months. We were doing the project. One was related to some stock market, trading in the stock market, algorithmic trading in the stock market, and the other was related to AI image generation models. So during those projects, I realized that these are the two paths that I would like to take in the future. One is algorithmic trading, and the other is like creating something using the AI models. And like at some point I realized that there are like ways to get a remote job. There are like various websites and portals where you can get in touch with US based employers, and you can even like talk to them and just get to know how the hiring process works.
So
And
can you just
lucky,
mention some of them? Some of
yeah,
them.
yeah. So one is Upwork. One platform is Upwork, and it has all kinds of jobs from all over the world. So that's a good platform. Another is Web3 Careers. That is more related to Web3, but they also have jobs related to data science and quantitative research. So coming to my job, the current job, which is for a US based energy trading firm called ProGrid Analytics. So you can look it up on my LinkedIn. There's a LinkedIn page now. So this company actually came to ISI for hiring in 24, I think. And one of my friends got placed in this company. And I met him and we had a conversation about my interests and what things I was not particularly liking about my current job. And he recommended that I should try for ProGrid Analytics because they were hiring. And my friend was actually leaving that company, not because the company was like bad or anything. It was just because he got a offer which like he wanted to join that offer, and he was just interested in joining that other company.
Mm, mm.
So I gave the interview, and I would say the interview process after you have already worked for some time is different, because they will want to focus on your projects, the stuff that you have done in your last company. So that you have to prepare very well in your CV. And also, I had mentioned the independent projects related to algorithmic trading. So I think that played like a key role, and my interviews got over very quickly, and I got like an offer like very quickly. It was just like 2 rounds of technical interview. So yeah, so I would say once you are in like the professional setting, there are so one resource that can help you is Kaggle. There's a website called Kaggle where they have data science competitions, and that will teach you what kind of models work on real world data set. It's not the best way. You won't learn everything you need to know for algorithmic trading or stuff like that, but it's a good start because they have like also a lot of tutorials and stuff. And I think the important thing to learn is to handle large data sets. That is very important to learn early or in your career if you want to go mod in the modern like data science direction, because back in the day we used to have 100 data points, 200, 500, and we used to fit some linear regression. But these days usually there are like millions of data points, and the traditional models usually don't work.
So, Kushpreet, so since we have switched, so key networking is very important, right?
Yeah.
So, can you give some tips for how to increase the networks and why it is important?
Yeah, so as I mentioned as I mentioned in like 5 minutes ago, that I got this job because of my network.
Correct.
So I would say ISI people are really lucky to have such a strong group of people that they study with. And one of the best things I got out of my ISI education is my peer group. Just like an example, right now I'm talking to Moinak. He was my batchmate, and we, even though we don't talk regularly, but once in a while, we like just get in touch, and like we share important information about our careers and stuff. So I'm in touch with a lot of my ISI batchmates. So, and also some juniors and like some seniors. And just because we are like-minded people, and we want to know, what other people are doing, usually it's something interesting. So I think like it's difficult to like underestimate. Like I think you should never underestimate networking, because as you go forward in your career, most likely your network will matter like even more. So I would say it's like the importance of networking is more than 50%, even for me, like right now. And as I move forward in my career, it will probably be, 60-70% of, the like what kind of growth can I have? Networking will be like a 60-70% like contributor to that. And that is definitely like not an exaggeration, because I would say a lot of the stuff that you uh, like a lot of the stuff that is useful in industry, you won't find that in any like book or any resource like that. You actually have to talk to people and learn what works in the industry, because especially if you go into quant trading and a field like that, everything is like very secretive, so nobody wants to like share.
Correct, correct. So, so my last two questions basically. So, one is you have already mentioned you have switched very early, right?
Yeah.
Within 1.2 years. So, what were the questions that you faced in an interview? Because why are you like switching so early? So, how do you tackle it?
Yeah, so always I think you should have a story. You should actually have like a coherent story about your career. And again, you should not lie. You should not be dishonest. And I had a story. So my story was I wanted to switch into ML engineering or quant trading, because I thought, okay, these are the two fields that are gonna dominate the future. Because with the rise of AI, I think the job market will change a lot. And according to me, I think people with critical thinking and like good problem solving skills, I think these skills are going to become much more valuable than, just copy pasting some code, which AI can already do. So I wanted to switch into some field where creativity is required and where I get to learn a lot. So that was my story, that I want to switch into like these two fields, so I am giving interviews for like these two fields, whatever company I can find. And yeah, the coming back to like the interview preparation, I think if you have the job description available, just go through that and try to understand what they want, what kind of person they want. So for a remote job, usually people like hiring experienced people, because they're most likely there's not going to be much like training or hand holding. They expect you to know how to work already. Like a lot of the work they expect that you already know, because it is different from working together in an office. Like you don't really get to interact much with your colleagues. I think maybe you do interact in some kind of jobs, but in my job, that's not the case. So I would even say it's not the best kind of job for like everyone, because it is like so different from like a traditional job. And another thing, like, so in my interview job like this, of course, let's be honest, the job security is not that good, because it's a startup. And when I joined, I did not have much idea about energy trading, and our startup is into energy trading. But I had to learn like very quickly about the market and how we want to trade. And the good thing is the team is really good. The team has also, there's another guy, he's also from ISI. He has a PhD in time series. So the team is very talented and very good. And in like almost 1 year now, I was able to do some good contributions. But if you like thinking about difficult problems, if you like working on your own with some support from your teammates, it's a good job. But if you like going to the office and like working with other peoples, then maybe it's not the best job for you.
Okay. So, so Kushpreet, any last advice from your side for our
Yeah,
juniors?
sure. So one thing I would like to say is right now, like the job market is changing, and the change is just like beginning. It's not going to stop anytime soon. It will probably take like a decade till we see some very big changes in the economy and the job market. And like my startup, it's like a small group of people who are all very talented and interested in their work. And now with the help of AI tools, one person can do the job of like three people very easily. And because I'm in a startup, I have to do all kinds of work, not just like my, the job, the role that they hired me for. I have to do some other stuff because there's no one else, right? It's I have to do the end-to-end work most of the time, which is like a great thing. I think we should always look for like, how to basically understand the end-to-end process that you can do in a startup. So one advice would be, if you are comfortable, then take some risk early in your career. Maybe work for like a little bit lower salary, but the job is more interesting and there's more learning potential, or work for a startup. So these kind of risks you can take early in your career. And I would say try to learn as much as possible. Don't think just, you are from ISI, you know so much and then there's nothing to learn. It's not like that. You have to learn like all the time. You cannot stop learning. And I think the value of critical thinking and logical problem solving skills is going to increase over time. And there are going to be many innovative and high paying and interesting jobs for ISI people in the future. Just keep looking for such jobs and opportunities.
So, what just you have said, so I have a very beautiful quote regarding that. Anyone who stops learning is old, whether at 20 or 80. Anyone who keeps learning stays young. That is
Yeah,
a,
that is true.
yeah. So, thank you, Kushpreet, for the time. I hope our juniors will get benefited from it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I basically tried telling everything that maybe I wanted to know when I was at that point.
Right, right. Thank you. Thank you.